Welcome to Nick Lenz's novel review. This is episode number 27. Okay? And in this review, I'm reviewing Star Wars Ahsoka by E.K. Johnson, who is this lady right here. Pretty much what this book is exactly what Ahsoka was up to from the moment she was last seen in Star Wars The Clone Wars, the CGI series, and pretty much when she was seen in the current Star Wars Rebels show. It pretty much kind of fills in the little gap. It kind of feels the same way as, kind of similar to the Legends novel Star Wars Kenobi, which I believe is written by the same person who wrote New Dawn, John Miller, which is a good novel. This is good too. I mean, she interacts with Bail Organa, R2, she's basically around him, and yes, she does use these lightsabers in the book, and she gives the backstory of where she gets these things. Apparently she found them on some planet she was going to, and I'm not going to spoil the ending per se, but it does set up her character, basically her alias that she had in Rebel Season 1. I'm not going to spoil what it is. You have to read the novel, and of course you have to also been watching the show Rebels to understand what her alias is that she had to assume on the show, because, well, if people knew that Ahsoka Tano was alive, the Empire would basically send one of these Inquisitors. Now, pretty much this Inquisitor that basically shows up in the novel is apparently some gray creature. It's not really well defined per se. He's an interesting villain per se for Ahsoka to fight, and I could definitely say she does defeat them. And I will spoil this with the lightsabers. Apparently the blades were originally red, but they turned white because she basically freed them from the corruption of the dark side. That's simply what. Oh, and also, apparently she does not wear hair. She does not have any hair on her head. If that's the case, then what do you call the stuff that's on her head? I thought it might be hair, but here's kind of the weird thing about this. Ahsoka does not explain what is on her head. It could be a headdress for all I know. One thing I do know about Ahsoka is she's of the same species as Master Shak T. Same skin color, same look to her. But they're not related. They're from the same planet, but they're not related. And this is the look that she assumed on Star Wars. This is actually her third look she's actually had in the Star Wars universe. Her first look was a very tiny top that basically barely covered her chest, and a pair of shorts and boots. That was her look for the first few seasons of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and then she got a more moderate look, where basically she went backless, but basically had her chest covered, mostly anyways. They did show off a little bit of her belly button in a way, but was more conservative than what she had before. This, I believe, is her, like I said, her third look, and she's written to be really very well intelligent here. You get some interesting characters, like one who might be a potential Force user, which Ahsoka might potentially train in the future. I'm just checking my thing that covers my chair, see if it's still intact, so it doesn't move. But this novel is just really good. I don't want to spoil too much of this novel per se. The novel is actually quite long, and it's a young adult novel. It's not one of those, one of the bigger novels that people tend to think of when they think of the recent Star Wars novels. This novel is long. It's long enough to be a regular Star Wars novel that, like Tarkin, Lords of the Sith, but it's 356 pages, but it's under the young adult stuff. I don't know why Star Wars did this for. My guess is they probably did it because they probably didn't think this book would succeed as a regular fiction novel. It does not do any Twilight stuff per se. It's just Ahsoka doing what she normally does, being a badass like she always does. And most of the book takes place on a moon. A moon with an atmosphere called Rhoda. She basically assumes the identity of Azla. Yeah, I think that's her alias that she assumes on here. I think so. She, see if I can find it here. Yeah, I think it's Alosa, I think her name is. Yeah, it's kind of a sort of an anagram. It's a little bit short in the name of, and there's also references to Anakin Skywalker in this novel, and of how he called her nickname is Snips. They do reference her time in the Clone Wars, stuff like that. So you can definitely say that this book is for the fans of the Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV show, and also it does pay respect and pretty much to her fans the character. People, when she was first introduced in the Clone Wars, the movie that started up the series, the reaction to her was very negative. But then she got written a little bit better per se, and she got to be more of a tolerant character. I never had a problem with the character. I thought she was really interesting. I mean, yeah, the only reason I was just kind of annoying because, well, she's just starting out as an apprentice. And heck, there was this weird thing where Obi-Wan thought she was going to be his apprentice. But according to Master Yoda, Ahsoka was actually going to be Anakin Skywalker's apprentice, which he was stuck with there throughout pretty much the whole series. He was kind of the weird thing about it. He kind of acted as her apprentice for pretty much the first 4 seasons of the show, and then pretty much for season 5 they kind of had her interact with Anakin less and less in season 5. And there's hints in the novel that she kind of knew that Padme and Anakin had a relationship, and there's references to Padme Amidala here. A few of them, not many, but this will. Oh yeah, R2's in here as well. I gotta bring up that 3PO is not in here, surprisingly. Actually, I think he isn't. Even Captain Tilly's in here. The people might be familiar with him from Star Wars Episode 4: New Hope. Of course, this is set years before he actually died in the movie. But this is still good. I'm not going to spoil the ending. I should definitely say this. She does join the rebellion in this novel. About a little over halfway through it. But this book is good. 9 out of 10. I do recommend it. And this novel is definitely canon. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for episode 27, where I got more Doctor Who novels to review. Okay? Until then, we'll see you there. Bye.